everyone, my name is Serena and welcome to Honeycomb Harvest. Today I'm going to be showing you how to build your very own ant-proof bee bench. My one and only bee bench that I have outside, I built myself. It is 8 feet long and specifically designed for the Apimaye boxes. So once I filled that bee bench up with my hives, I wanted to get more hives, and my husband says you can build one more bee bench and that's it. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna build this 80-foot long bee bench and have 10 times the amount of hives that I have now. But unfortunately, Home Depot didn't have an 80-foot long 2x6. Anyways, I ended up settling for a 12-foot long 2x6. So instead of making a second 8-foot long bee bench, I'm going to be doing a 12-foot long bee bench. I can still fit another maybe 5-6 hives on there. So I think that's good enough for me. Anyways, let's get started. We're going to head outside and I will show you all of the materials that I bought. It's super simple and you guys are gonna be like, wow, I can totally do that. So let's head outside. So as far as lumber goes, all of the material you will need is one 4x4. This is 10 feet long and I can divvy it up and get 6 legs out of here, and 6 legs is all I need for my bench. Each leg is going to be 18 inches long. Starting on that side, I already marked it. So I still end up having about a foot extra. So plenty of space. I heard that when building benches, you should build them at least 18 inches tall. At least this tall, if you have an average height, but it's really hot out here. But if you're a really tall person, then you probably should build it a little bit taller. But since I'm short, 5'3" for reference, then 18 inches is plenty. So anyways, I marked all my 6 points on here. For the 18 inches, we're gonna get them cut. And then I have two 12-foot long 2x6s, and I will show you how to attach the legs to those. All right, so let's get started. So as you can see, this is my 8-foot bench. I have these black rubber tubs that I bought at Tractor Supply, and then I just filled them with oil, and I have had no issues with ants ever since. We are outside now, gonna start building our bee bench, and I'll just quickly tell you what all that I cut. So I have a total of 6 of these 4x4s, and they are 18 inches long, so I cut 6 of those. And then I have these two 2x6s are going to be going on the ends here, and these are both 16 inches long. And then I actually didn't cut anything off of my 12-foot long 2x6s. To give you guys a visual, this is essentially what it's going to look like minus the legs. So if you don't have an Apimaye box to stick on here for reference, from this end to this end is 16 inches. So basically this is wide enough for those black rubber containers to fit on each leg. So the legs I'm basically going to center underneath these boards. So they will be completely centered on each side. So we'll have 2 on the very ends and then 2 in the middle, and call it a day. So I'm going to take this Apimaye box off now and get to drilling. I'm just going to briefly go over this. I had to get a stand because if I end up putting these 2x6s on this, it's just not stable enough, and that's what we had issues with the first time building our bench. So it's easier to have something that's a little bit more stable. Our ice chest just happened to be the exact height that we needed it to. And then this board is a little bowed. Okay, so you can see that there is a gap right here, but when we end up nailing it in, it'll straighten out hopefully. And that other side, with the weight over time, it'll be just fine. So anyways, you want to get this as centered as possible. I think I might move it over just a hair, but that there looks pretty centered. And then also what you want to do is make sure that this side is flush, because your 16-inch board is going to be nailed right directly to that. Anyways, this looks great to me. I'm actually going to pre-drill these since it's so close to the edge of the wood. You really want to make sure you pre-drill this, otherwise you can risk splitting the board, and clearly don't want that since this board is going to be holding hundreds of pounds. So let's get to pre-drilling. I have marked 4 spots here that we are going to first pre-drill, just because since it's so close to the edge, I definitely don't want it to split the wood. And so we're going to be using 3-inch screws that should be able to get into these legs deep enough. So he's just going to pre-drill these. All right, so like I said, we're just using 3-inch screws. All right, so there you have one leg. It's leaning because this board is twisted, but it's okay. So what we just did here, now we're gonna do the exact same thing on the center leg and then the outside leg, and then we'll do that to the second 2x6, and then we'll end up screwing them together. Right, so we have our center leg. I'm gonna draw these 4 dots for my husband to screw in here.
God give me strength. God make me great. I put my faith in God. God give me strength. Keep the dark away.
All right. She stands on her own. A little crooked, but it's okay. We're gonna brace it with these 2 end pieces, and it helps a lot. And then once your Apimaye boxes are on here, solid. All right, so we're gonna move to the other 2x6 now.
I still get nasty weather. I just pray to God that he don't let this last forever. Replace my marriage vows for some temporary pleasure, cause I let perverted thoughts sneak inside my cerebellum. I can't let them tempt me, cause I only end up sulking after. Moonwalking when I give in, I'm just going backwards. I be trying to laugh it off, but Jesus tell me cut the laughter. I'm an open book with my struggles, it's just another chapter. Running after grace again, but I'm losing.
All right, so all I did was line up these benches right next to each other, and I spaced them out so they're about 16 inches apart from each other. And now that they're all, just measure it here in the center and then on the very end, just to make sure they are 16 inches apart. And then I'm gonna go grab my Apimaye box and I'll just set it on top just to make sure, and then I'll get my 2 end boards and screw those on, and then my bench is finished. We're gonna put the Apimaye box on towards the left side here, and we'll adjust accordingly. Now that we have this set up as straight as we can get it, it's not gonna be completely straight, but we're just gonna come in and pre-drill these here. And then we'll do the other side. And then you have a completed bench.
I don't even care what the woman look like, where's my standards? That's not even really fair to the other person, making them a victim just cause I'm searching, over here lurking cause I've been hurting, prayers ain't working, I've been a serpent. I'm just being honest. I'm not about to pretend like this whole walk is modest. I can't save you if I'm lying.
1 brace done. And now we're just gonna move to the other side. This bench is 12 feet and our last one was 8 feet. And you're gonna have, I mean, on this 12-foot bench, you could put a fourth leg if you wanted to. But just realize that when you're building this bench, it's gonna be crooked. Crooked in the fact that it's wobbly, but it is totally okay, because when we built our 8-foot bench, it was wobbly and crooked, and then once we set it in the ground on top of pavers and added the Apimaye boxes on top, it's literally perfect. Like, I love this bench so much.
In my pace again, Satan let me taste the sin and throw it in my face again, and now I got to blame again, dirt all over my name again, pretend I'm not ashamed again, but I don't feel the same within, can't even draw my faith again, I might have to just trace it in, thought I killed the sin, but the devil just seems to lace it in.
It's important to look on the side here because you can sometimes see a big gap from where this brace meets the leg. And sometimes if you just go a little bit further with the screw, it'll grab it a lot better. But I think these are all pretty good. So there you have it, your 12-foot long bee bench. Once you get the pavers in the ground and this on top, it all just settles over time. And then lastly, to make it ant proof, these are the rubber tubs that I get at Tractor Supply. It doesn't, all it says is 8 cups. So anyways, you just want to make sure that you can fit 2 of these. Well, you have to make sure that your leg fits in here, which it does because I have them on my other bench. And you want to make sure that you can fit 2 of these next to each other so that you can get each leg in one. And then I end up just filling it up with canola oil. And I have, ever since doing this, I've tried a million other things. I have another video on all of the things that I've tried, and this has been the only thing that I've had great success with. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, just make sure to comment down below, and always remember to be your authentic self. Bye guys.